Hello. So, I had an interesting experience today. I was walking around Glendale, I'm a mask on, carrying a bag, was just exploring, walking around Glendale, and these two gentlemen had set up a table with microphones, and they were making a podcast, and they wanted me on it. So, I got interviewed on a podcast today. And it was an interesting experience because they didn't know I was a comedian. Some people in my life would probably say, I've known you for 20 years and I didn't think you were a comedian. But they definitely didn't. They just thought I was the guy off the street. And so because of that, some of the stuff I said that was meant to be funny, they blew right past. And like, I sat down, one of the jokes, you know, I was talking about like how you make friends, and since I just moved to LA, and I talked about, you know, it's hard with the pandemic because it came just a couple months after I arrived here, but, you know, I'll go to a garden and we'll wear a mask, we'll social distance outside, and we happen to be talking out in front of an Olive Garden. He goes, it's a garden, Olive Garden, right? So that was his joke, and I turned to him and said, yeah. So now both of you are my friends, right? Which I thought was funny, but they didn't get it. Later, I talked about how after the pandemic, I want to do an open mic for some of the stand-up ideas I've been working on while in the pandemic. That he said, well, that's whatever, you know, everyone wants to tell those jokes or that content, and I'm like, yeah, but not like mine. Not exactly like mine. And they will tell me. So I go, I'm not really prepared. Like, I haven't really worked through it all, but like, this is the basic idea. And I start to tell the joke, and they interrupt me during it, which is hilarious because they're comedians and they know I'm, you know, and I'm about to tell them a joke, and they're going to interrupt me while I'm telling them the joke. You know, that just tells you right there something's rough. But so I start the joke, and I go, it starts like this, like, you know, in the pandemic, you learn things about yourself. You know, being cooped up, you really learn things. And one of the things I learned was how much I like pudding. Like, I really like pudding, and it's expensive, so I started to buy the instant pudding and make it myself. But then, you know, you have to whisk it, and for 2 minutes, and at 2 minutes, my wrist would give out. It would get tired, and it would give out, and I thought that was really weird. Can anyone think of an exercise that a single man living by himself, trapped in his apartment for 7 months, could perform to strengthen his wrist endurance while making pudding? And their response was, you could slap people, slap them in the face. And I thought, if they thought I was a comedian, they might have understood that I actually just told a joke. So then we talked about more. They were very nice, and they were funny in their own right, and I did get them to laugh at one point. But then they were done with me, and they're like, time to go, here's your dollar. They paid me $1. They paid me $1. Time to go. I'm like, okay. Thanks. But they never introduced themselves, or at least I don't recall them, so I had to make them introduce them, because I'm like, you know about me, who are you? So I made them tell me their names, but they didn't give me any information about what the podcast is. It's been going for 2 years. Apparently Reggie Watts has been on it. They've been doing podcasts for over 2 years. They did not send me away with any information to go listen to the podcast that I'm going to be on. That is weird. Okay. Bye.